The first thing you need to know and remember, and it's so critical, is that when they talk about mortgage and loan, they're two different things. So the mortgage is the contract. It's where all the promises are made by the borrower that they're going to pay on time and they're going to pay back the lender every single penny. And the loan that's given because that contract, that mortgage contract exists, the loan is the debt. So the way that it works is that a lender will give money when they've gotten or when they've been given a mortgage contract by the borrower. So the borrower is going to read the contract. They're going to make all of those promises by signing their name to the contract, right? By putting their signature on it, and they've promised to pay all of that debt back to the lender. So the borrower will give the contract to the lender as security for the loan that the lender is going to give them in return. So it's a two-way street, right? This is a relationship and both sides are giving something. A lot of students get confused and they think that the borrower is getting the loan and getting the mortgage, but that's the wrong mindset to have, because it's the borrower who actually gives the mortgage, who makes those promises to the lender, right? So just think of it as a trade-off, right? It's a two-way street. One person is giving the contract, that's the borrower, and one person is giving the money when they receive that contract, and that's the lender. Okay, so the loan is the debt, and the mortgage, they could, talk about it in terms of it being a contract or in terms of it being security for the loan that the lender is giving to the borrower. It's not a loan itself, right? Remember, the mortgage is the contract. It's not the actual loan. It's not debt, but it's usually evidence of a loan that's been given. Okay, so I just said you have lender and borrower, but they're usually not going to use those words for you because those would be too easy. They're going to use the words mortgagee and mortgagor. How you remember which one's which, you just look at the E's and O's in each of them. So lender has two E's, mortgagee has two E's, borrower has two O's, mortgagor has two O's. So you'll never get those confused if you just remember that connection. So we said the borrower will grant the mortgage to the lender as security for the loan that they're going to get from the lender. So they will obtain that loan from the lender. The lender will provide the loan to the borrower once they receive that mortgage from the borrower as security, right? They want to make sure that the borrower's made promises that they're going to pay everything back before they hand over any money. Okay, so make sure that you know which directions it goes, right? They'll use, gives or grants or receives. They'll use those different words, and based on those words, that gives you a clue as to who's who in the story.